EFF has snatched another ward from the ANC in by-elections in Mahikeng in Tshwane. The DA retained Ward 96, but did accuse Herman Mashaba's ActionSA of dishonest tactics. So there's a lot to talk about in the world of politics, and always good to have independent political commentator Thabo Shole-Mashao joining us this morning. Thabo, hello, good to have you with us. So big issues we need to talk about. It seems that even after the local government elections, it seems that voters are still keeping an eye on what the EFF and the ANC are doing. What's your take on the EFF snatching this ward?
It's a very interesting one. Numerically, it may seem not so important nor significant, Gareth, but politically, there's a lot of symbolism that goes with it. We know that this is a fourth ward that the EFF has won in Northwest, particularly. You'd know that this is a very first ward that they've won in Mahikeng, and Mahikeng rather is the center of political battles in Northwest Province. So the EFF sees this as a very important one. They also attribute this to the fact that they have since this year engaged on what they call a 1 million member campaign, which every single Friday they are hitting the streets and garnering support. So this is a very significant one because in Northwest, all in all, the EFF has about 149 councillors, and they have about they have won about 4 wards. This is the 4th ward that they've won. So as far as percentages are concerned, it's 25%. And the ANC in Northwest is really embattled. We know that there is a task team that is breathing over their heads as they're trying to do the work. And also we do know that since the new premier has come in, not much has moved. The task team is there under the leadership of Mr. Tshwane, who has been facing a barrage of criticism. So the ANC looks weaker, and it looks like the EFF is taking a great opportunity and exploiting the ANC's weakness in Northwest Province.
It's going to be a problem as well, isn't it? Because everything's going to be focusing on the ANC elective conference later in the year as well. So questions are going to be asked about the leadership of the ANC in this particular part of the country when you lose Mahikeng as well. So how do we start unpacking what that could mean for the leadership of the ANC, how they're going to have to explain away how they lost the ward to the EFF?
Well, I think firstly, they will have to admit that their actions have been lackluster, especially in the by-election that we are talking about right now. The EFF took to the streets. The ANC was a bit lackluster. They did not necessarily rise to the occasion. They had factional battles, and there was also an issue about the candidate of that particular ward, which was in question inside the ANC locally. So that also, the squabbles internally are attributed to this. But also, it also says to the ANC at the Little House, Gareth, that this task team has to be closely looked at. Has the time not expired for them to be overlooking the province? And what good have they done in the past few years? Have they done more damage than bring unity to the ANC in Northwest? I think the people in Northwest have an answer to that, and the answer is glaring. But I will leave it to them to answer that question. However, it will continue to be an onslaught for the ANC until they inject not only enthusiasm, but a bit of cohesion within its ranks, particularly in Northwest. Northwest is a very unstable province politically. You remember it was in Northwest a couple of days ago when the president was booed. And we also know about the removal of Professor Mohoro and a number of other issues. So the ANC would really have to clean up house and take decisive action.
Yeah, at what point do we stop talking about the ANC rebuilding and start talking about the ANC having rebuilt as well? But that's a discussion for another day, isn't it, Thabo? I need to get your thoughts before I say goodbye to you, though, as well. So a bit of a backwards and forwards ping-pong politically between the DA and ActionSA as far as Ward 96 is concerned. The DA managing to hold on to that. But as we would expect in the world of local politics, a bit of mudslinging. So the DA coming out and accusing Herman Mashaba of dishonest tactics. Good heavens, in South African politics, I couldn't imagine it.
There's no love lost between the DA and Herman Mashaba and ActionSA. I think we all know that. There is bitterness and there is a bone to be chewed between the two. Any opportunity will be fully exploited by either of the parties. On one hand, the DA sees Herman Mashaba as someone who betrayed the Democratic Alliance and just left. The Herman Mashaba feels betrayed by the DA. So on a local basis, though, the trick is they would be forced to work together at some point. And the voter has to decide, do they want to live with the squabbles of the DA and ActionSA and Herman Mashaba, or would they rather opt for another party? But there's no love lost at all. And we are about to see this even in the next national and provincial elections. This tiff between them is yet to stay with us for quite some time.
It really is, and always good to have you with us. Going to be a fascinating year as far as ANC politics are concerned, especially with the ANC elective conferences getting underway and that main conference later in the year. Political commentator, independent political commentator, Thabo Shole-Mashao.